Esports. Today we have for you the pre-made Rampage League. This is week 6. We have Furtastic Blizzard versus rawr XD. And today, streaming for you, casting is me, Crimzs, on the play-by-play, and Gofarino on the color. Gofarino, how you doing?
Uh, I'm doing. I've kind of been nothing all day. I went to a used game store. I bought 2 Bionicle games. That was cool.
Oh my
But
God,
we got
you're taking me back. You're taking me way back.
dude, I love me some Bionicles, but I also love me some Risen Esports here, and it is week 6 of the pre-made Rampage. Just had to double check with the stream title because it's kind of easy to get names mixed up here with all the Risen
Yes.
leagues like Dominate Open Pre-made Rampage, Focus, Julia Thorne, whatever you want.
Julia thought, yeah, I haven't heard that one too much. So I
It's the
notice
easiest.
here you're standing to assert your dominance over the audience, I'm assuming.
Yeah, could also T-post to Sir Dominant. Oh, we should
T-posing would certainly
do
be very
get into pro
Chad-like.
draft soon. And speaking of the devil, we are going to be starting off here in the pro draft. We do have FB, the Furtastic Blizzard, on the blue side here. Let's start with Fur, but I was trying to remember the last bit of that. And on the opposite side, we have rawr, who is abbreviated as rawr, with some notable picks being taken off the table. A lot of target bans coming through so far. In that Zach, in that Victor, just pinching some of these comfort picks for these players here.
Oh, these bands are coming out fast. Yeah, we have full first round of bands underway. So we definitely have some. Oh, and Amumu first pick here. What do you think about the new Amumu changes?
Sorry, I got distracted because my dog was at my door like, please let me in. I'm like, okay, you can come in, but when I opened the door, she's already halfway across the house. I haven't really seen enough of the new Amumu changes yet. I have seen some people pick them up, and it's been to different results. I don't think Amumu was like a major factor in either of those games, but it's kind of interesting to say the least. He's got 2 Qs now. There's that Reddit post that said QQ, which makes sense, although I haven't really heard that QQ terminology in so long. Crimzs.
Yeah. We also have a Leona pickup here. Yeah, I've played against the Amumu in jungle a couple times, and I've been caught off guard because I'm just so used to the single Q. We'll see if rawr is going to be caught off themselves.
Okay.
A Lilia pick. Now, obviously, she's meant for the jungle, but she's seen some play topside, but they just nerfed it. So picking Lilia here would be a little bit crazy. And what do you think about a blind pick Irelia, especially when you don't know what the mid laner is yet?
That's assuming the Irelia is going mid lane. That is one of the strengths, even though Irelia, yes, can be countered hard in lane here, Crimzs. You do, of course, have that duality of the flex. We kind of don't like this top lane matchup. We'll flex you mid. We kind of don't like this mid lane matchup. We'll flex you top. It can work both ways here. It is paired with the Leona as well, who gives you all that CC, which makes it easy for Irelia to land her abilities to get the Q resets to get on in. Of course, on the other side here for Furtastic Blizzard, they have the Thresh and Amumu here so far, which is a lot of pick potential from long range with the Bandage Toss and the Death Sentence. Not to mention the Thresh is considered a soft counter to the Leona because you're able to flay her out of that Zenith Blade E.
That's true.
It's going to be paired with the Blind Pig Vayne. Now this is always risky, especially against the Leona, especially when a bunch of counter pick ADCs are on the table.
Yeah, something like Caitlyn is traditionally seen as the counter to Vayne. Anyone who stomps lane, of course. What do you think about picking a pretty mobile 80 carry to pair with the Thresh, as opposed to more commonly seen Ashe or Aphelios?
I mean, it still works. Vayne Thresh does still work because Thresh is able to CC them, or Vayne to be able to get Silver Bolt procs off, which is always important for Vayne's laning phase. I expect it's probably going to be the Hail Blades Vaynes, which has been cropping up more and more recently, but it's going to be going into the Tristana, and Tristana is one of those ADCs who's kind of able to out-duel and out-assassinate Vayne at all stages of the game, thanks to
She
her...
has farther range, correct? So that really helps in that matchup.
The extra range, once she hits a certain level threshold, pair that with the explosive shot on that E, able to just charge that on up and then just rocket shot people away with the ulti. It means this Vayne won't really be able to get on top of this Tristana. And it's Tristana with Leona, and that is making for a very sick level 2 all in here, Crimzs, if they are able to get it off here on the side of rawr.
Yeah, Leona very famously with her passive can apply extra damage with an 80 carry there. And the E burst on Tristana is no joke. What do you think about so you gave credit to Irelia being a flex. What do you think about the Tristana flex that could be going on here?
I haven't really been seeing as much Tristana flex to the mid lately. Um, Forget if there's like some exact nerfs or if it's just a general meta trend. I'd have to ask around about that. I assume it's going in the bot lane here for rawr. I know it is a bit of a specialty for.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt here, but that is a Nunu ban in the blue slot there. So that
Oh,
is a Nunu ban.
client?
Yeah, so Nunu ban there for Furtastic Blizzard. FB makes me think of Facebook, but Furtastic Blizzard there. And so we have all the bans rounded out in a fourth pick Jarvan here. So interesting that Jarvan was such a, usually you see people fighting for that real early in the draft. This one falls through pretty late.
That's definitely a little bit interesting here because the side of rawr, they have a very kind of goon squad-esque sort of composition here. You have the Jarvan, you can find someone and lock them in that Cataclysm. You have the Irelia who can jump on someone. You have the Tristana and the Leona. They can also jump on someone as well. Of course, this is very heavy speccing into the physical damage side of the spectrum. And on the side of Furtastic Blizzard, I mean, they do have some very tanky frontliners here with that Ornn, with that Volibear, with that Amumu, and with that Radish.
Yeah, it could be an AP Amumu.
Okay, so
Could be.
Volibear is Cassiopeia.
What is
That
going
makes more
on?
I was about to say, like, which one of these is going mid? That'll be kind of a little too reliant on the Vayne for damage. However, though, you do still have the Ornn, you do still have the Amumu. Great picks to just kind of just stack the armor here. And, okay.
Yes.
And
So
the Akshot Pepper is coming in, but they did need some magic damage.
So just to let everyone know, Vayne can actually escape the Jarvan Cataclysm. She can actually just walk to the edge and just roll out of it. So
It's really
last time I
weird.
checked that is still possible in the game. So you may think this Vayne won't be able to escape the Cataclysm, but she ensure can. What do you think about Jarvan and Nivea? People usually expect the Jarvan Orianna, but they went with a Nivea in this game, and it looks like maybe they're going to be sending that Irelia top lane and a Nivea in the mid lane. But let's just talk about Nivea versus Orianna with the Jarvan pairing here.
Oh, is that? I thought it was Cassiopeia.
Oh, it was Cassiopeia. Wait, who's?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, hard to keep track of
We
who's
are in
saying
blind
what.
draft right now, so we'll be able to confirm in just a second. I'm pretty sure that Corito is going to be rocking the Cassiopeia in the mid lane here. But it is just going to be a bit of a classic control mage versus control mage in the mid lane. Nivea does have access to very insane burst. It's one thing people.
Oh, I meant pairing a Nivea with Jarvan versus pairing Ori with Jarvan. That's something people classically imagine.
It's not as bursty, but I mean, if they're sitting inside the Anivia ulti for the entire duration of that Cataclysm, it's kind of like having a Shockwave there. You do also have the double terrain patient combo with that Jarvan, which can be really pesky if you do that around objectives or something. We just need to see how rawr really want to execute on it. And the Anivia, I feel like, is more so for backline on them, because everyone else is going in, but you do need someone that's going to be the wave clear for your team. That's going to kind of just be the poke and siege for your team.
Yeah, I think it's very important, especially if your team falls behind, to have a wave clearing mage or anyone who can wave clear. Certain 80 carries can fill that role if you think about Sivir or Philios, and that's just your failsafe, right? So if you're losing the game, one of the most important factors is having a good wave clear. So I think that that's a good thing to point out as well. What do you think about Furtastic Blizzard's overall comp here in this first game?
You have the Vayne, you have the Cassiopeia, two great scaling carries. It is going to be a very short to mid-range composition just due to the fact your carries are that Vayne and Cassiopeia, even though you do have some fairly long range in the form of Amumu's Engage, in the form of Ornn of the Forge God. You do still kind of need to get on top of them here, Crimzs, which might be a little bit of an issue if the Tristan's able to bust a shot you away. If the Anivia is able to just drop the ulti and make your life a living hell if you try and get within X amount of units of this rawr team.
Right. I mean, both teams seem to have pretty good. If you mess up your engage, we are going to kill you. I mean, Cassiopeia, Vayne are good at that, as well as Anivia, right? So if you don't get engaged on Anivia, she can really zone you out, just like the Cassiopeia. I think, though, we have to say that Furtastic Blizzard has a lot more oomph in their ultimates compared to rawr.
Yeah, that's just always a little bit of a case when you have the Amumu in your composition. The Curse
Plus
of
the
the
orb.
Sad Mummy is such a devastating ultimate. It's part of the reason why I believe that he's always been historically such a low elo pub stomp sort of champion, because it's one of those ultis where you just go in, you can do a good chunk of damage yourself. It sets up your team to follow up on that damage, and it's that kind of huge go button for the rest of your team to know, hey, let's go in. Of course, this is technically quote unquote a new Amumu. Same ulti, same E, same W, but they're two charges of the same old Q.
Yeah, I think you could consider like a Mumu version 1.3, you know? He's been the same champion for roughly 2-3 years. They changed him a little bit back in the day, but not too much. This is probably the biggest update a Mumu has ever seen, which is literally just you get an extra bandage sauce now. That's his biggest update.
They, I believe, he got a slight change in the tank rework update. That or it was. I know they at least reworked his passive and tweaked his Z. Either way, though, random Amumu mini reworks aside, we'll have to see how it does shape up here once we get into game number 1 here of week 6 of the pre-made Rampage. So don't go anywhere, dear viewers, because we'll be back in a jiff.
All right, and we're finally into the first game of the day here. We have on the blue side Furtastic Blizzard. On the red side, we have Roar. And we are going to be introducing, starting with the top side, we have Feathers and Fur playing Ornn, Ojikori playing the Amumu, Kurito playing Cassiopeia, Rukaisho playing Vayne, and we have Peacemaker on the Thresh.
Of course, on the opposite side, uh, we have a bit of a Burrows set up, not shut up. Lord.
Oh, wait. Okay, I guess we aren't going to be able to introduce everyone as we have the red side moving in. Doki going
Yep.
to be engaging onto Thresh here. Doesn't have any other spells, just going to be auto-attacking away there. Finally throws out the flag, and it looks like we might be having a no contest so far. No one taking an early lead. Wards are going to go down on the bot side. Looks like we have a red ward in the red buff for a Mumu here. So we're going to be able to spot out the early jungle pathing. But it looks like on the opposite side, we do have a blue ward on the same red, I mean, on an opposite red jungle for Furtastic Blizzard. So definitely going to catch if Doki's going to be going in there. So it looks like both teams setting up, having some early vision, and both sides starting bottom. So I think we can agree that both teams are looking to make a play top side here. Is that where you would go with your choice?
I have no clue because I just can't jungle to save my life. Um, the most interesting thing, though, of that level 1 was the fact that we saw those 3 defensive early trinket wards by the side of
Yeah.
Fursuit Blizzard. That might be a bit of a factor in terms of early ganks because you might not have a ward when you, really wanted one. Who knows? It is going to be a bit of a column here in the bot lane to see who gets level 2 first, because both these lanes can have a bit of an explosive level 2. Definitely favoring the side of rawr, though, if they hit that level 2 first.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like they're both doing a full clear as well. So for me, playing Jarvan, I think one of his best strengths is getting that quick level 3 for a super quick prio gank.
Devil.
Oh man, I have so many problems with my view here. You guys can't see my screen, but Bossman and Shauna are completely invisible for me, so this might make casting the game pretty difficult. I'll do my best.
Pink sleep client, yeah. Never mind that. Here's
Oh, we have an engage here. Doki coming from behind. Leon going to set up a stun. They're going in on Thresh. They're dealing damage. He's pretty healthy, though, and he's quite close to the turret. And even with the Tristana E, isn't going to get a kill, but they are quite low in the bot side. Unfortunately, I can't even see Bossman and Shauna's HP, but I'm going to just assume that they are up in this trade.
So, fun fact, technically that's a summoner spell advantage for the side of rawr, because they used a flash and 2 ignites to just get out an enemy heal.
Well, they did get the Thresh flash as well, so Peacemaker is
That was
flash
one.
down.
Either way, though, curious to see how this translates, since it does mean they do have the health advantage, like you did point out, Crimzs, and it should mean they also have the push advantage in this bot lane, which can translate into a free backward, just some tower plates here.
Oh, and Nivea running into Ojikori right now. Mumu taking a lot of damage. The wall going to block off his escape path as we suddenly turn to the bot side here. We really need to see these minions auto-attacking each other, as I believe Ojikori will be blowing the flash here. Oh man, is that 3 Japanese names? Alright, that's 3 Japanese names I gotta be aware of. Actually 4 if we want to count Doki. Anyway. With that, Amumu blowing the flash, so not the biggest deal for a jungler. I think we can both agree with that. However, I believe Ignite, and that is correct, Ignite on this Jarvan was blown in some of these exchanges. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah,
A flashless Jarvan. Leon gonna go in, Thresh gonna play that away, but he's getting pretty low. But Vayne gets the first blood on the Tristana. Fortunately, was way too close to that wall. Wait, hold up.
You gotta make
hold up. No, my. Okay, I think I need to restart my. So something's definitely wrong with my. But I think that I will try to do my best. It's not showing the correct members anywhere. Something's definitely messed up with my casting. I'm not. I'll let Gopher go ahead and help me out.
Yeah, you are able to click exit game in the escape menu, and then try clicking reconnect when the client pops back up. Otherwise, you might be slightly on the side of SOL, and I might have to stream through Discord. Little sneak peek into production here for the side of chat, but sometimes the League client is, well, the League client.
I wish I could show you guys what else. It's insanely terrible. Never happened to me before. All right,
Still though, first blood for this Tristana, Hoopsock Bossman. That's gonna be a nice early lead, allowing them to get this early Noon Quiver. See how it translates to here in the river or just side control. We do have the Dragon up, plates are still available. An early Dragon here, always appreciated. Lets you get on that stacking chain early on. But Doki might be a little caught out here. As it's gonna be a little bit of partying in the bot lane here. No, there's the sad mummy available for OG Corey, so even if that bandage toss lands, there isn't going to be that super massive up. With the 4 people here in the pit, control exerted by the side of Furtastic Blizzard. See if there's a contest here. It is getting low. There's the teleport. They're going to want to do something soon because it's already dead. There's the Cassiopeia ult. I don't know why I'm forgetting it here in the middle of a fight, but that's why I don't play by play. Either way, though, such a decisive team fight win here for the side of rawr. They give up 1, but they get 4 in return. They can make it 5 here because Feathers and Fur trapped between a Anivia wall and a hard place. Small price to pay for what is essentially a 7-minute ace.
Yeah, so I think an ace here is going to be very, very vital. And we can already see a pretty hefty gold lead for rawr XD here. That's about 2.7k. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you for any more events happening until I get this synced up.
Yeah, there are events happening. Doki's going to get hit by the second Amumu Q here. That bandage toss. OG4 is stacking up that comp. Doki does thankfully have the safety of Jin and Tonic. Good little combo there. I think we're gonna see a kill. Yeah, not gonna exactly be a kill. Pressure onto the J4 though for Doki, who's not really been able to get the early ganks off that Jarvan really wants to, or the early pressure. Did have a major hand in that first dragon fight. I will give them that, but they are behind on farm against an Amumu, which is usually something you don't want to do, even with Jarvan's relatively speed.
All right, and I think I am all synced up. So we'll hopefully get a better job for me playing these games here. And we have Cassiopeia going for a trade here. Corrido onto Jin and Tonic. Jin and Tonic getting pretty low, has to burn the flash to get out. And Corrido just getting a free summoner in the mid lane.
And that is the power of the Cassiopeia. I mean, both these mid laners have that all-in power, but Jin and Tonic is just that much more reliant on landing a single ability in that Flash Frost Q to get that stun, to get the full ulti duration off, to get that super hard hitting E. Whereas, I mean, Corrido, more than happy, you can spam abilities in Cassiopeia. Did you land Q? Alright, you probably won the trade because you're going to be just spitting E's on them, that twin thing, like no tomorrow.
I think that for, looks like Jin and Tonic super low. Corrido going to go in for the kill. Will the poison tick? It does get the egg form out of Jin and Tonic, so that's a cooldown burn again. And I think for Jin and Tonic, you really got to make sure that when Cassiopeia is coming into you, you have mana for your ultimate, you have your Q to land, because that is your defense, right? And Anivia with the farther range should be being able to hit that ability on the defensive end, not so good on the offensive end against this Cassiopeia. Oh, Chana gonna go ahead, burn the ultimate, doesn't get a stun, but will get a slowdown. Rukaisho is gonna be doing tons of damage as she flashes behind and ease Tristana under the turret. Tristana gonna burn flash, get the jump out, but now Shauna is in a bit of trouble here. Rukaisho chasing down with the Vayne with the passive movement speed. Shauna turns in. I don't think that was a good idea, but then Peacemaker picks up the kill. What are you doing, Slash?
Just miscommunication there here for the rawr bot lane, Crimzs, because Shauna going, all right, you know what? I'm Leona. I have Zenith Blade back up. I have Shield of Daybreak back up. Let's go back in, boys. Where are we dropping? And I guess Poop Sock Bossman not properly alerted to that, because there is a chance on that re-engage that maybe Poop Sock Bossman and Shauna get that kill onto Rokaisho. But as it stands, getting that kill onto the Vayne, more than happy to get that kill, because that Vayne's gonna be a hell of a menace here in the later stages of the game and the mid stages of the game. We do get a little accelerated. This is just one step towards that.
Oh, Doki gonna go ahead and get the knock up, and now Kurita with the no flash doesn't even have the ultimate to defend. Gets killed in the mid lane, and so we already see here Tristan a 3-0-3, Anivia 2-0-2. This is exactly where you want the money to be. The damage and the gold are in the right place right now.
3-0-3. You also have the Rift Herald as well to really look to crack open this mid lane as well, Crimzs.
You know, I don't think the gold lead has changed though. I think it's actually gotten a bit, only a bit bigger, only slightly. I think that this might be a missed opportunity for rawr to take the commanding lead here. They could probably have ballooned this further by now, but of course they do have scaling champions. Maybe playing it safe is the way to go.
Dragon is spawning here. I'm guessing mid lane they didn't drop Rift Herald because it's a little too far out and they didn't think they'd be able to push it in time. They can drop it now as a catch-22, or they can just look to kill as Cassiopeia again.
Cassiopeia. Kurita gonna get knocked up again. The Leona ultimate misses due to a flash, should I say dodge. But now, Jin and Tonic's in danger. Doesn't have the egg either. And Ojikori landing the bandage touch and giving Rukaisho the kill there. And that is just a Jin and Tonic in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You don't have Vegas in Nibia, you don't have Flash in Nibia. And the second dragon of the game as well, gonna be going over to the side of Furtastic Blizzard. Gonna be more than happy to grab that. It is gonna be the Ocean Soul as well, and they have that head start on what is considered the strongest overall dragon in the game.
Kurita coming back, but I don't think they're going to pick up the kills here. Eventually, the Rift Herald comes down. Doki going to get stunned up, and I guess no one wants to give any kills to Rukaisho. Guys, I guess they don't trust their AD carry because they've been stealing as many kills as possible for Rukaisho here on the Vayne. I don't know what's going on with that.
Importantly, though, they do stop the Rift Herald that was dropped on the bot lane here, Crimzs.
Yes, that is.
So that Rift Herald was just a dud, more or less. The Rift Herald, you have to use wisely to get the maximum value out of them.
Toro missing the stun there, but gonna get the all in. Jin and Tonic stunning against the wall again. Furthers and Fur gonna go down to Angelic Poro there. It looks like a TP's coming out from Cassiopeia trying to pick up the kill here, make this sure this death doesn't go unpunished. Angelic Poro getting a lot of health, but does get stunned by the Cassiopeia. Oh, but then goes all in on Kurita, falling down. I think we can see here the Q healing from Aurelia coming huge on top of the Blade of the Rune King. Kurita just gets bursted down by Aurelia.
Yep, Conqueror stacked up. Blade of the Rune King available. Aurelia just kind of has a lot of healing thanks to her base kit, as well as runes and items.
Yeah, and she also does a lot better into magic users now with the changed, I forget what it's called. Her W though as well. So with that, blocks more magic damage as well. Ojikori gonna try to save this turret here, but it looks like the turret's gonna fall and maybe also give a life. Bossman auto-attacking away, but the lantern comes out, but OG doesn't want to take the lantern. Bossman going in deep, but Vayne gonna stun him into a wall here. Doki going in for the kill onto the Vayne, so Rukaisho is also down. Peacemaker trying to make his way out of here. It looks like he's not gonna make it out as Doki does get the knockup, but the Flay gonna give him over the kill, and that is barely winning that fight, that skirmish there, but Shauna does walk away. However, it looks like Kurita is going to try to cut off Shauna here. Jin and Tonic not coming down to help at all. This might just be a free kill. Shauna running away, but burning slowly does burn the flash in defense here. And it looks like even with the Leandries, the burn, the slow kill is not going to happen. Shauna walks away. And now we're 7-12 here. And I guess the gold lead has come back for rawr here.
A little bit. Just a smidgen. Biggest thing is going to be the fact that they have this 4-in-1 Tristan and this, Irelia. Coming up for this next Dragon or Ritual fight is going to be big. Of course, on the opposite side, it's still a 4-2 Vayne who is able to pick up that shutdown in the bot lane onto Superstar Boston's Tristana. So it's not like Show is out of this either. Let's see what the setup is here, though, because Gerald is going to be up in just a jiffy.
Alright. Some farming going down. Mid lane transition to the AD carries. This typically happens in the mid game. 16 minutes in here, we might be having another skirmish. This is 1 minute 30 before the dragon, and we can see on the bot side we have more red wards than blue, but it looks like it's about even for the ward positioning. Red team does have more wards on the bottom side and in the blue side jungle, so that should give them an opportunity to get a pick. And they do have Leona and Jarvan to make that pick. We'll see if that becomes a factor. Born rotating down. Unitonic staying on the top side here. Doesn't have TP just yet. Doki for the win. He's going to go ahead and flag and drag away. And it might be a Rift Herald before the dragon here.
Yeah. There's like 30 seconds until the dragon. You have all 5 people here.
This Rift Herald's going fast.
Yeah, because you melt through this.
Yeah, they have probably they have like 2 of the top objective takers in the game. Vayne Cassiopeia, huge amounts of damage output. Can easily take down Barons, Dragons, and Rift Heralds alike here. Importantly enough, Rampage does have the Kraken Slayer, as well as Boss Man here.
Yeah. CL might be a slight difference in terms of ADC DPS for a 5v5 fight at the dragon. I don't think it's going to be a make or break sort of deal.
So they're going to use this to get positioning on the dragon. They are in first. rawr is split up at the moment. They're going to be retreating away, thus giving the vision advantage to Furtastic Blizzard here, and they're starting up the dragon ASAP. Want to make sure that the enemy team doesn't have enough position and challenge. Lano going to jump onto the Ornn here. Corrido out of position all alone. Ornn going to get the knockup onto the Death Toro. The Irelia going down here. Rest of them are piling into the Dragon Pit. Rampage got out alive here. Feathers and Fur going to go in. It looks like Rampage going to go in for the finish onto Bossman, but he finished as Rampage off instead. Bossman making the double kill into a triple kill from Jin and Tonic there. And that is a cleanup from the damage dealers of rawr. They win the team fight, but they lose the dragon.
And even though this isn't Soul, it is going to be Soul Point. We saw them try and contest the last 2 dragons, and it feels like Crimzs that they're always just half a second to a second late when it comes to getting on top of that dragon. We saw it there. Doki not able to get into the pit whatsoever, thanks to a good play from Peacemaker. And they aren't even able to get a lot off the back of it. There's no Baron on the table. They get a mid lane outer, which is very handy. But the enemy team is still on that Ocean Soul point. And you're going to really have to rely on this gold lead that you've generated from the past few fights, Crimzs, to potentially really break open this game and then deny the enemy team from a potential Ocean Soul win con.
Yeah, I do think there's definitely a lot of macro misplay coming out from rawr here. They have the gold lead, they have the better pushing comp as well. Vayne should never be able to outpush the Tristana. Irelia should be able to beat Feathers and Fur on the side lane all day, especially with this lead as well. So should be able to get side pressure. And yet they are, like you pointed out, behind on every objective so far. I mean, they had vision on bot side, but they didn't have the mid push, so they lost the vision advantage. They didn't get to Rift Herald first. And it looks like Furtastic Blizzard is just taking these opportunities to get objectives when they really shouldn't be in that position.
Yeah. See, Corrido? Okay. Direct the game taking this way kind of suggests that nothing really going on up there. Feel like, oh, look. Feel like we're gonna have some call
So if we look at the item builds here, Kurita does have a finished fully stacked tier, and Gin and Tonic doesn't. Misses the wall there. Gin and Tonic doesn't have that fully stacked tier yet, and that is a 30 CS advantage for Kurita. So maybe we'll get a comeback in the farm department here against this Gin and Tonic, Anivia.
See that? Who knows?
Yeah,
Because it is. I mean, even though it's a 5k gold difference, the dragons are kind of making up for a lot of set differential and making this game a lot closer raw stats wise than it might seem on paper. This is still a decisive gold lead here for the side of rawr Crimzs, but they really need to translate that into some sort of big objective here.
yeah,
All they've been able to take are these 3 turrets.
and kills.
Yeah.
But nothing big. I mean, they lost the Rift Herald. So in terms of objective play, not so much going on. They are going to, looks like they go for this Baron here, seemingly out of nowhere. Maybe they're looking for a bait. They do have teleport on their Aurelia. They are going to go ahead. Vayne coming down. Kaisho trying to kill Angelic Flora. It doesn't work out. Even a 2v1. Angelic Flora might take this. And with that, 2 members on the bot side, they're going to go ahead and fight. On the top side, Baron, Furtastic Blizzard going in. And we have Gin and Tonic on the backside. Bossman, you know, out via Mumu as well, and it is a clean sweep on the top side. Honestly, why would you ever 3 members go into 4 as on the Baron pit? That is questionable decision making, and you do get wiped. And this gold lead is now very significant. It is a huge gold lead.
Technical potential for turnaround in that 3 versus 4. They're able to get a Mumu into Cassiopeia combo going, but yeah, rawr able to just kind of say no you to that very quickly, able to pick up the Baron here, and now this gold lead is very massive, to say the least, Crimzs. And they should be all backing here to reset for this up-and-coming dragon while they still have the Baron buff, while they have all this gold from that one fight. Because then they're going to have just such a commanding presence over this dragon spawning.
Yes, I mean, with the Baron, they should be able to push in all the lanes. I don't see any way for Furtastic Blizzard to get an opportunity to take that unless they go for a pick and fight right now. They'd have to probably do it right now, and it would be a risk, so we'll see if they go for it. OG Corey positioning for it. I think they understand that this might be their way to win the game. However, they're gonna have to fight for it, and I mean, they may end up costing them the game. Bossman gonna be taking a shot at Peacemaker. Already have health. The hook goes out. Does get Shauna, but that's not much at this point. This Doki gonna go in. Tries to land a knockup on 3 members. Is it going to be canceled by the Thresh? Peacemaker doing a great job so far, blocking the engage. But it looks like Furtastic Blizzard are going to be walking away from this dragon. They're going to hand it over. I don't think they were going to be able to fight it. They needed a pick at that moment if they wanted to contest it. They don't get it. Instead, Feathers and Fur. I reversed it. Feathers and Fur getting a push on top side, so denying some farm at the least. However, Angelic Poro pushing the bottom side, probably going to get this turret. Doki walking right into Ojikori right now. The hook goes out, does go wide. Ojikori getting stunned up by the Anivia, so this Amumu taking a lot of poke damage, even though this is tank Amumu doesn't have the MR yet. Turret's going to go down. Inhibitor is falling quickly, and it looks like they're just going to have to give that up as well. The bot side turret's down, and now they're going to rotate down to the bot side and also pick this one up ideally as well. Amumu is backed at the moment, so he's not here, so they can't make a counter engage to prevent this at the moment. No one in the mid lane, though. Usually you want to keep them split up. Oh, it looks like Doki did try to hurry that wave in, but it looks like let's stop her.
That's a good bandit toss.
Doesn't pull the trigger on the ultimate, though, just walks out. Surprisingly, doesn't take any damage either, and looks like we have a 5-on-5 defense for the turret. Doki going in, gonna blow the Cataclysm on the 2 members, or counter engage coming out. We have a lot of members skirmishing in the middle. Kaisho safely catching off the side. Bossman going in, and Kaisho getting that Vayne. Gin and Tonic does fall down. Now it's just Shauna here. But Bossman's not here to back up the damage, so Shauna falls for free there. And this looks like a successful base defense. Bossman trying to get the kills, trying to pick this up at the back end. Maybe to win the game. Does get the Ornn here. Ojikori going in at a bad time, and Bossman picks up the 2 kills at the end. It was looking like a successful defense but it didn't turn out that way. Corrido up in 8 seconds here. Might be able to stop Bossman. Peacemaker's up, gonna probably try to delay this as much as possible. Has plenty of CC to do so here, but he's not throwing it out in time. Maybe Bossman can get it. Does have the cleanse, but Cassiopeia's here to supply the damage. Bossman going down, but that was a very, very close ending to this game here. Could have been the win, but now it looks like Furtastic Blizzard really on the back foot here. They might have some time because the Tristan is down for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Uh,
I thought that was going to be an expected backdoor.
I think that'd be very hard to do within Nibia. But kudos if Jin does pull it off.
It's doable.
I think that the CC would be enough. It would be a valiant effort. It would be a valiant effort. But I think importantly, Rukaisho was able to get a lot of free fire off in that last team fight uninhibited until the end there. Of course, Bossman finally going in for the kills. I mean, this Tristana is a beast now. 11-2 and 9, has plenty of CS advantage, and not to mention plenty of objective gold as well. I think it's looking pretty hard for this Vayne to contest this Tristana at any level.
See, because
OG getting stunned up here, and Jug Corrigan going, but it is going to be peeled off by the Vayne here, and that looks like that engage is over. But honestly, that's just showing the burst potential of this Irelia right now. And has the Wit's End, so doing plenty of magic damage. Again, Amumu doesn't have any MR yet. And so any magic damage will just cut through him at this moment. Doki going into the Thresh. Peacemaker not scared. Gonna try to zone them away with the throw of the hook. Throws it out. Doesn't catch anyone.
They do
it looks like rawr trying to finish off this final inhib here. Probably want to get this that will lead into a free Baron though. Can't be too bold. Doki going in, doesn't get any prime targets. They might get this rush, but honestly, not the biggest deal. Rukaisho going to be half health by the Tristana. Bossman kiting back, doing lots of damage. Rukaisho falling on the end. And it looks like a sweep from rawr here. They're going to be picking up most of the kills. Burritos, last man standing, doesn't stand much longer. And the rawr XD going to be taking this first game here. Looks like the Furtastic Blizzard wasn't enough snuff stop this early meme.
And they definitely tried their best. They held on a decent amount there for the most part. I mean, they were on the back foot for the most part in this game, Crimzs, but they're able to keep it relatively even, especially with the objectives, especially with the macro. So I'm curious to see if they're able to translate that into the next game, because it kind of spiraled out of control eventually when you had that 8-2 and 9 Aurelia, when you had that 14-2 and 11 Tristana, or just completely nuking your entire team. That's a little tricky to deal with, but if you're able to prevent that and maybe keep up the macro and objective control you had from this game, it could be looking really good here for Furtastic Blizzard in the second game.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that when you acquire the dragons, especially early in the game, they actually don't help you out that much. They are scaling objectives. So late, if the game extends further, then those become relevant to your stats. But when you first pick them up, it doesn't help you that much. So the first two we can agree were free. They had to fight for the third one, and that's when they were starting to get outscaled. The pace of rawr, they were making the plays that they made. The gold lead was already enough to overpower Furtastic Blizzard, even though they were able to get the better positioning on most of the objectives, the neutral objectives.
Let's see how it shapes up, though, when we do come back for this game number 2. So don't go anywhere, beloved viewers. We'll be back in a jiffy to see if Furtastic Blizzard is able to bring this back to a game 3, or if rawr is just able to keep this dominance going and just get the clean 2-0.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 of the series between Furtastic Blizzard and rawr here in Week 6 of the Premade Rampage League. And we have some bans right off the bat here. So now we have rawr on the blue side. I keep wanting to say XD, even though it's not part of the name. I understand. And we have a Hecarim ban followed by a Tristana ban. Looks like Furtastic Blizzard didn't like the Tristana from Bossman last game. Looks like that's going to be the only adaptation so far, as rawr is going with the similar bans from last time. Zach also going to be banned out as well here. And I think we might be seeing a Jarvan first pick. What do you think, Gofrino? Jarvan first pick?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never really ever been high on J4 unless he's kind of overtuned.
Yeah, he might
We
be
kind of
overtuned
saw last
right
game for rawr that there were some issues with the J4. He was getting very heavily up farmed and not really able to get any sort of early momentum going outside of those early objective fights.
He did get a couple of first ganks off on the bot side, and mid lane ganks as well. But I would agree that in the team fights, Amumu was generally more effective.
Time's ticking down. It's gonna be Leona. That leaves open the Samira, though, that both these teams do like playing. Would be into Leona, which does kind of suck a little bit as the Samira, but hey, it is a
Yeah,
comfort pick for a reason.
With Thresh open, though, would you go for a Leona first pick like that?
Yeah, I mean, Leona's still kind of considered the strongest support in the game, more or less, right now, because she's just
It's
able to get
definitely
away.
a battle between Thresh, Leona, and Braum at the moment, wouldn't you say?
Potentially, yeah. Let's see. Because the Amuma is going to be a response here that did work out fairly decently for Furtastic Blizzard the last time around. Able to get out
Ooh,
unscathed, able to just
is
kind of
it
farm
a
on up.
Lucian? All right, so we have a Lucian pick, and to remind everyone, this is the new Lucian, so basically is not going to be able to mid lane, although you could try it there. Does require a more enchanter buffing support to activate the extra damage now, with also including the ultimate change, which sends out a lot more missiles than before. And okay, I was about to say Lana Braun would be terrible, but we're gonna get a response pick. Let's see what it is in the Samir. So we have a confirmed bot lane here. Samir Leona, lots of engage and 1v and 2v2 potential in the bot lane. Is that going to be the key to their victory here?
Let's see. It is very explosive, and it might just be the Mordekaiser. They've been hovering the Mordekaiser a lot so far this series, but they haven't locked it in quite yet. See if now's finally going to be the time that they do. I know it's kind of weird to say when we're only 2 games in, but hey, that's how much has been hovered. So it looks like it's
Okay, it
going
was
to
a trick. It was all a trick.
it
It's
is
just
going to be
baiting
the
you. Go for you know.
The Leona, the J4, they pair up well together to set up the rest of their team. Of course, it is very reliant on the rest of your team, of course, and we're probably going to be seeing much more carry-centric mid laners and top laners come out here to pair with this Leona, to pair with this J4, because the Samira really wants to be able to get resets off in fights, but is not going to be the tank shredder you want for this Amumu, for this Urgot.
Okay, power pick on top side. Now, are you the type who's gonna want to fight fire with fire? Do you counter your own engage to counter the Leona Jarvan Samira burst damage combo, or would you prefer something that it's gonna sit back and invite the enemy to come in towards them, like maybe even a Mumu or Urgot here?
Usually, I believe most teams usually favor the countering super hard engage with champions that just kind of thrive off of that. Like, say Alawi. I know Alawi's banned, but that's kind of like one of the
Alawi would be perfect. I agree.
Like, because when you all dive in onto an Alawi, she just pops the ultimate and just starts healing and starts making your team. I tried to go for all that.
Something else would be a Kindred, right? Kindred's also in that boat.
Yeah, Kindred's fairly well in that boat. If the Kindred does not get CC before they do die, sometimes that does happen and can be pesky.
Camille taken off the board here, even with the nerf, is seeing a ban from Furtastic Blizzard here.
Just take one of my comfort picks, and Camille is probably still going to be very pickable in terms of comp.
The nerf quite not doing enough anyway, be honest. And they take out the Mordekaiser. Guess they were still scared of that. And a very, very quick Morgana ban. But to be honest, I think you would want some of the more buffing supports for this Lucian here. I think Furtastic Blizzard might pick up one of them in this first rotation. Who would you like to pair with the Lucian?
Uh, Taric is interesting. Okay. I believe the Taric heal does help you get the extra charges of your passive off, if I'm not mistaken. And it does help you with the anti-dive
That's
here
good.
side of Furtastic Blizzard. You are able to get that Cosmic Radiance off and able to combine that with the Dazzling Gleam stun as well. You'll be able to starve off most of rawr's just super upfront burst that they have drafted so far. They're okay.
Ooh,
They're
Lee
going
Sin,
even more
Jarvan.
burst here.
Yeah,
Lee
Lee
Sin,
Sin, of course, there to take over the
Lee
early
Sin is
game.
Darius. Okay, yeah. As soon as I
There to
saw the
take over the early game, but I think I've seen J4 top. Now I'm not the biggest fan, and we know Lee Sin has gone mid lane
it's
before.
Darius top one. The Lee Sin's the Darius.
Oh, is it Darius? I'm getting trolled by this pro draft yet again, and now I'm just gonna wait and confirm if this is Anivia before saying it is.
It probably is. Theoretically.
Yeah, but we do have the counter engage with Tark, and maybe with something like a Mumu can buy time for that Cosmic Radiance to come in, which would be huge, and a little bit of engage of their own with the Oriana pick here in the mid lane.
It does open up a lot of wombo combo potentially if you're able to string the Amumu, Lucian, and Oriana ultis into one another and combine that with your Fear Beyond Death. That certainly is one way to punish just like the enemy team all trying to dive in on you, except for this Anivia. Anivia won't really be flashing onto your backline here. But hey, we'll see how it does shape out here. If the side of Furtastic Blizzard, do they have enough counter engage here to deal with the super unga bunga rawr composition coming through at Crimzs?
Yeah, definitely have both teams trying to set up a couple wombos here. So rawr, they do have a lot of engage, and they have paired that though with some low mobility champions like an Anivia and a Darius. So would you consider that counter synergy or maybe a cohesive team comp still?
I mean, rawr, they kind of know what they want to do. They want to go full on unga bunga here. They want to go forward. They want to just do the fight.
Yeah,
Get the
so
reset. You have Samira, you have Darius,
yeah.
two premier reset champions.
Although Anivia not known and Darius not known for really good engage. However, I think they're going to try to supply the engage with Jarvan and the Leona. On the other side, we have the Amumu Taric as possible counter engagers with the Oriana as well. And they have the Urgot to finish off targets. How do you imagine the early game playing out for these two squads?
Well, it's a Darius lane, so whoever's into the Darius that isn't named Quinn is just gonna kind of hate their life. So Feathers and Fur is gonna kind of hate their life here. That goes without saying.
Yeah. I think interesting thing to point out is the Anivia Oriana matchup. I think that this one isn't so straightforward as one wins over the other. I think this is probably a skill matchup, and you might give it a slight favor in Oriana, but certainly something that a skilled in Anivia could overcome.
Yeah. The Oriana is, of course, always geared towards more scaling plus the utility. The Anivia will be able to match the scaling, not so much the utility. It's kind of hard to match the AoE slow slash speed up, the shields, and then just the displacement. We'll see though. Because there is potential for this Anivia to really burst out Oriana, and Greedo will have to be playing careful. Oriana without flash when you're against a potential Anivia wall, when you're against a potential J4 just flag and drag on in here, Crimzs. That's going to be a tough pickle to deal with if you happen to be Greedo.
You know, don't think I've ever had a tough pickle before, but it does sound like a terrible experience. And speaking of terrible experiences, I think Lucian Taric may not have very many options against a Leona Samira, especially for the first few levels.
I believe so, yeah, because Tarek, I think, is still on the scaling side. I haven't really seen enough of him this season because he just has not been picked whatsoever.
Yeah.
Usually, a lot of his counter engage tools, like the Cosmic Radiance, like the Dazzling Gleam, they have a noticeable delay to them. They have a very telegraphed cast time to them. You
Hmm.
can see when the invulnerability is going to come in. You can see where the stun is going here, Crimzs. And when you have this hyper mobile Samira, when you have the Leona who's just able to press EQR all in rapid succession here, maybe Peacemaker's not able to get off that counter engage in time. Maybe Rukai Show is just gonna be having a tough time as the solution. It is a Lucian matchup though, so it can't always be explosive in the bottom.
That's true. I think both sides do have potential to basically 100 to 0 their enemy champions here. But I think before we get to see that, we're going to have to throw it to a quick break. So just to remind everyone, this is game two between Furtastic Blizzard and rawr. And this is going to be shaping up to be a pivotal game here. Do Furtastic Blizzard come back and make this a series, or is it going to be a 2-0? We're going to find out in just a couple of minutes here. All right, we're finally into this game. And so now I think we have enough time to introduce both teams. On the left side, on the blue team, we have rawr with Angelic Poro on the top side, Doki for the win on Jin. Sorry, top side playing Darius here, Jin and Tonic playing Anivia. Then we have Bossman on the Samira, and finally Shauna on Leona support.
And on the opposite side, we do have the side of Furtastic Blizzard. We have Feathers and Fur, Ochikori, Dorito, Rukai Show, Peacemaker,
Oh, we have two
and
teams
we
grouping
have
up
an
here.
invade here. Rukai Show might
Shauna,
have Flash.
Shauna leading the pack here. Doesn't look like a commit was going to happen here. Feathers and Fur getting a ward on the opposite side of the map. A plus job there from the Urgot. And now they'll be able to know exactly where Doki for the win is starting here. Gonna get a ward down, so a bit of an EXP lead for Bossman. We'll see if that's enough of a factor to get an early level 2
Is
and a steal coming out from Ojikori.
Ward EXP level 1 does not matter unless you somehow get multiple of them. So I believe it's like 15 EXP per killed ward, and that pales in comparison to minions and it won't let you hit
It
that.
does matter for a solo lane, unfortunately. Solo lane will get level 2 on the first wave. I don't think it matters for bot lane as you say. So a steal going out on both sides. Oh, actually, steal not going on both sides. Ojikori starting on red side, red buff as well here. But plenty of wards going down, so they'll know exactly what the pathing is here.
Bot lane has to be careful though here for Rukaisha and Peacemaker because they are pushing up just a little bit. Thankfully, waves should be pushing back to them now, thanks to the enemy ability usage as well as just enemy target on shield procs going down. But that doesn't change the fact that they hit level 2 first here on the side of rawr's bot lane, and they will have their jungler in this area for a bit of the foreseeable future, Crimzs.
Yeah, so Jarvan looks like the map is going to be split here. So Jarvan going to be completing the full bottom side of the map, while Ojikori on the Amumu completing the full top side of the map here, which means that both teams are going to have to be power playing to that side. So Angelic Poro is on the weak side for rawr here, but that also means
mid lane.
Furtastic Blizzard's on the weak side for their bottom side. Jarvan coming up though. Already getting poked out by the Orianna. Amumu may be in position. Hard. As we have an engage on bot side, looks like Peacemaker gonna drop low. Samira gonna finally commit in. Flash is blown, exhaust blown in the mid lane. We have a double stun coming out of Jin and Tonic. That is a low Amumu. First blood going over to J4 with the flagging drag on top of it. This is a 3 versus 2 in the river, and they are sandwiched between two blue member groups here. Dorito gonna try to come in. Jarvan falling in tow here. Doki for the win has to get the flagging drag or waiting for the flash to come out to follow up, which is a good idea. Gonna pop the flagging drag anyway. Burrito dropping low, but the Urgot doing tons of damage to Doki. Where were you, Angelic Poro? Finally arriving to the fight a little bit late. Does flash to try to commit onto this Orianna. And Jin and Tonic picking up the kill here. 1-0 and 1 from this Anivia. 2 kills to 1 and a 500, 400 gold lead for rawr as well. We have engage coming out. Peacemaker maybe made a bit of mistake though. Bossman dropping low, gonna flash out. Peacemaker also gonna be low. Shauna gonna get the stun. Rukaisha. Bossman going back in. That was incredibly dangerous, and it was a mistake. Rukaisha flashing Q for the kill there. And I think Bossman just misplayed the positioning there, especially at the end. Did not respect the Lucian burst damage at all.
And I thought it might go the other way there in that trade, because you're all just getting right up into Samira's face, which she doesn't entirely mind due to a lot of her abilities and just very low auto attack range.
Hold on. Doki for the win just stole red buff while Ojikori was in his jungle. Okay, never mind. They saw. Okay. I thought Ojikori was coming from the red buff. Looks like Ojikori was just running away from the potential Jarvan roaming back up to his own red. So I don't know what the buff count is, but we do have a buff win for the side of rawr here.
For the first time, Furtastic Blizzard to have a goal lead this series. I know that's technically cherry picking a little because this is only the second game and it is technically a very minor gold lead, but hey, It is a lead all the same here. A lot of it stemming from this top lane farm differential as well as the mid lane here. If that
Yeah, the CS
translation
differential is huge for Feathers and Fur at the moment. I believe having the push and the early roam is what solidified this gold lead as well. And I don't think we can scoff at this mid lead for the Anivia with the buffs. They could possibly go for a play, but timing out soon, so the opportunity is slowly fading. But Corrido, 10 CS up in the mid lane is also a big deal.
Yeah. However, though, even with this Prow in the mid lane and a little bit of Cryo in the bot lane,
It's enough, I would say.
yeah. This Dragon gonna be going over to the side of rawr here, Crimzs, and early Mountain Dragon just gonna help with any potential scaling issues they might have, since they do have the Jarvan, the Samira, and the Darius, all not exactly known for hyper scaling potential, but it does give them that little bit of
Playing
extra
dangerously.
value. I help them get that smidgen of skill, and also just let them stack towards a potential earlier Dragon Soul if that happens to be the name of the game here.
Yep, and classic move here from the jungler. Nivea stealing away enemy topside camp as the jungler does Dragon. That is, you either go for that or play, and it looks like here OG has position for a gank on the top side against Angelic, but Angelic level 6 could be risky. Angelic gonna go in on the Feathers and Fur, starting off this engagement. Feathers Fur gonna go ahead and land the flip. Vantage Toss goes wild on Angelic, causing Feathers and Fur to fall to the ultimate. Angelic could go for this dive here as long as he hits the Q. Doesn't need the Q. I lied. Gets the flash ultimate, and I was warning of the potential danger there, and I guess I brought it to fruition.
Yeah, that is always the danger of Darius. You go in on him, he's like, alright, I'm Darius. And this is why top laners just usually tear out their hair. That is the most stream-friendly form of...
Let's pick up the kill. Darius can go ahead and engage. Doesn't land the perfect Q there and falls down to the ultimate. And that is a bounty falling over. As we were stunned from Peacemaker coming out, Shauna going to try to stun in response there. Bossman getting close. They are winning this trade here, and a slight health advantage. Dogi for the win. Does he know that Oki's across? Yes, he does now with the flag. Fighting over this frog in the jungle here. Tark's going to roam down. Doki potentially in danger, avoids the engagement. Backs into the river. Gin Tonic trading with Corrido. Corrido doesn't have the ultimate though, so this should go to Gin Tonic's favor for the moment. They're still fighting over his romp. Lana gonna go ahead and engage in the OG. Jungler's still not level 6 here. Rukaisho gonna burn the ultimate as well. Samira is not level 6. Peacemaker also not 6 as well. Samira gets 6 off the ward, and now Peacemaker backing off. That is incredibly close to level 6 to get it off a ward there.
Yeah.
Well, with the ultimate's burned though.
Camp, and despite how much action we saw in the bot lane, the only kill was a solo kill in the mid lane. Jhin and Ana able to pick up that shutdown onto Corrido's Orianna.
Yeah, and you have to question fighting without your ultimate when you know that Anivia does have the ultimate up as well. As well as the egg potentially there. So Bossman and Shauna gonna go ahead and get the push. OG doesn't land a significant bandage, as well as being low HP here. Is it just going to try to be here for the XP? Just pick that up on the back end. But Bossman and Shauna showing that they are skirmish potential for these 3v3 fights on the bot side. And that was a close one.
But Gold Lane has swung back in the favor of rawr here.
Going in, does get the dash removed from Feathers and Fur. I don't think lands the good Q. Does now. Now Feathers and Fur is in a lot of danger. Does get the slow into the easy ultimate. And now it's looking like this is a Darius favored matchup 100%. And with Feathers and Fur opting for more damage in the Tiamat instead of HP, I think that might have been a mistake. Do you agree with that?
So this is actually kind of standard as Urgot. I believe you do still rush the Titanic Hydra. It's just one of those sad realities of you're against Darius, so...
And you're behind as well, correct.
Yeah. It is an insanely fun and enjoyable experience. I'm pretty sure any top lane mains in the Twitch chat right now have quite a few words to say about facing
Ooh,
Darius.
Bossman
That
dodging the
might
stun.
get them banned by auto mod. I don't really blame them. Darius top is kind of a bitch to deal with.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you survive the onslaught, and then it sucks to be Darius. But many times a lot of tops do not survive the onslaught here. And honestly, that early skirmish really sold it for Darius getting ahead and catching the leader.
Oh,
OG going for another gank here is 2 levels down. Both of them are not as high as Angelic Poro. And remember, if he hits 2 people in his queue, it's going to be even more healing. Gets
oh
about
no.
140 health here as Doki follows up. Now they're really grouped up together. Unfortunately, Angelic Poro doesn't have the ultimate. Gets the Q again. Gets extra healing. Doki was able to get out of that engagement, and this is just going to be another free kill. And this Darius is off to a great start. Shauna going to go ahead and get the engaged. Bossman catching up there is going to let the Infernal Trigger burn down Peacemaker. Didn't get the ultimate off, didn't even try. Orianna TPing from behind. Does she have the ultimate? Is not in position to use it just yet. Is going to get bursted down. Gonna blow it finally, but little too late. Should have went with that right away. And they're just giving over more free kills over here to rawr.
And I'm gonna be honest, Chief, this ain't it. This game should now start spiraling out of control for the side of rawr.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit before this match started, and I think well, at least I thought that the skirmish was in clear favor of rawr, and it's looking like, yep, they're winning the skirmish game, playing to how their comp wants to play out the early game.
They are able to do the Unga Bunga. And there's not much the side of
And this is a huge goal lead,
to
right?
really do here. Because keep in mind, there are only 10 games of the regular season here with Premade Rampage. If Furtastic Blizzard do end up going 2-5 after, or sorry, 2-4 after today's match, it does put a insane amount of pressure on them in the up and coming weeks. They do still have a little bit of leeway if they do want to make playoffs. Don't get me wrong here, Crimzs, but when there's 12 teams in each group, and only a handful will go to those playoffs. Oh, that thought we might see another all-in.
Bossman going in, isn't able to get through much of the shield, but now can. Fortunately for Peacemaker, there's some near short range, only able to pepper with the Q as following
Dragon's
Peacemaker
up,
here. Dragon's up. We have a clear vision advantage for rawr here. OG gonna pick up the blue buff before the fight. Maybe could have given it over to Greedo. Greedo might be in a bit of trouble here. The stun's gonna land from Gin and Tonic, and a huge trade in favor of Gin and Tonic here. This might be able to dissuade. This might be able to dissuade them from defending this. Doki going in, another stand landing on OG here. Super low. Mumu jungler is down. Ultimate comes out. They trade junglers on both sides. Leona gonna try to follow up engage on Corito there. Corito walking into the bush, unwarded, gets completely finished off by Bossman there, burning the Infernal Trigger, trying to pick up the Urgot. Isn't gonna make it. Now Darius is here with the teleport. Looks like Cosmic Radiance is gonna come down. Gin and Tonic low mana, can't do anything on the back of this fight. But Angelic Poro is here and he's ready to kill. Rukaisho is now in a very difficult position. Gets picked up on the back end there. 13-4. 6K-ish gold lead. Another dragon going over to rawr. Go Farino. This is not looking pretty for Furtastic Blizzards here.
God, that is like the most like caster way of putting it, because this game, by all measures and means, should be a done deal here for rawr. They have this massive gold lead. They have the dragon advantage. They have the turret advantage. They have every single carry in their lanes just fed to hell and back here. And there's no real response from the other side. I mean,
Oop, and Poro gonna get the pull on Corito there. That should never happen in a range versus melee matchup, especially with Orianna. Rift Herald gonna slam into the turret. This gold lead is extending, and it's gonna get a second charge off OG. OG gonna try to defend, but I think OG might be falling prey to the Darius as well. Angelic Poro getting stunned up. The ultimate from Mumu coming down. Gets the heal off. Gonna trade his life eventually. That is a bounty goal. Mumu might actually be worth for OG in the end, actually.
Even though that is massive shutdown here, Crimzs. You have to keep in mind they gave up 2 kills for that, and Rift Herald was able to take down that mid lane turret as
Yes.
well
I
as
mean,
get
it's
a
not
truck.
overall a win, but it definitely lessens the game. Lukaisho getting caught up by Shauna here. Bossman going to try to follow up. Does blow the movement ability on a minion, but is it going to be enough? Looks like it might be. Jinitok trying to finish off Lukaisho here. No other members are in range to help, and it looks like they're just going to pick off these helpless bot laners here. 2 more kills on the board. Looks like it's just getting worse here, Gofrino. So they had the pickups in the mid lane. They're getting the pickups in the bot lane. They're picking up more free turrets as well here. Not looking good. Oh,
Yeah.
now blows the bandage toss on the Raptor instead of the Jarvan here. Orion is in position, and Jarvan might be one of the weaker members here. Tries to get out. Darius is here, flashes out of the Cataclysm. There was no Urgot to help that situation, as Urgot was busy coming back to the mid lane here. Doki misses the flag and drag. Doesn't have any movement. Do they know? Looks like we have an ultimate coming out. Oh my lord, this Darius is a monster here. Does get the flash Q. That might be enough damage. The bleed surely going to take down this Orianna. Now OG's got to run away, but Darius, Angelic Poro smells the blood in the water right onto the land here. OG not fast enough to get away from the Darius. I guess the Darius is way faster than the Amumu there, catching up. And just more kills on the board here. Jin and Tonic going to get down a lot of damage onto Peacemaker here. They're shoving the final defenses for this base. Oh, Bossman flashing out ultimate good. Goes back in with the Inferno Trigger. Peacemaker blowing the ultimate, but not in time to save his life. And they're just giving over more kills. And Gofrino is not really getting an opportunity to analyze this game.
I mean, there's nothing to really analyze at this point. It's 17 minutes in. Let me just do the boring thing and read off numbers. 5 turrets to 0. 11,000 gold bleed. 2 dragons to 0. Like,
I would like to direct everyone's attention to the gold difference in the top lane, as we have another fight coming out from Angelic Poro. Going to land a massive Q to save his life, but it isn't enough. Huge gold loot going over to this Lucian. Kaisho kind of popping off here, but is going to be stopped by Bossman. Can Bossman get the return trades? Looks like Oriana's going to land an ultimate to finally pick up the kill there, and it looks like Shauna is the last man standing in this skirmish. Anivia wasn't there, busy pushing in the lane, and that is 1 win on the board for Furtastic Blizzard as they finally fire back.
technically, that is a huge win. They get some massive shutdowns there. They get some kills into their carry's pockets. And it is a 2k gold swing, but it's still a 9,000 gold differential. That's just how far ahead the side of
I would like us to go to production here so we can see who that differential is on. Before we go, can anyone guess how big of a gold difference Urgot to Darius is right now? I'd like to see some guesses in the chat before we reveal it. But let me give you all a hint. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
So
see, good dodge. I believe the egg is available.
So this Darius may be in fact at least 5k above the Urgot. One single champion, 5k above another one. That is, Gopher, have you seen anything that crazy before?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do. I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should just get a petition to say Angelic Poro is just too strong for this game right now.
It is a fun time, indeed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about why top laners hate Urgot. Usually you want to try and play this game, but you kind of can't when you're 1v1 against Darius.
Oh, Darius going to go into the 3v1 situation. Can he win? Does land the Q. Massive HP coming out. Looks like the ultimate's finally going to fall in, and Fur and Feather picking up the kill there.
They did it!
Look, Angelic Poro, I was talking you up, but I didn't say you could end the game.
It only took 4 enemy team members as well as 2 ultimates. They're able to take down the Darius with 3 items when they're all sitting on 1.5. We did it, Reddit. We take a quick look at the gold here. Unsurprisingly, big. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's try to highlight some more key members here. It looks like, interesting enough, the mid lane is fairly even. Most of the other lanes are fairly even. It's really just the top side that has this massive lead. Maybe about 1K difference for everyone else.
1K is still a noticeable difference when it comes to your lane opponent. So this is an early Baron.
At
It
20
is
minutes, this is one of the
out.
earliest barons you could possibly do. In League of Legends
Um,
here.
Possibly a little risky with that magic resist debuff against an Amumu Orianna composition, and yeah,
Ooh, Doki gonna peel off there. I mean,
especially
all
when
the
it's only
members weren't present. I think we can agree though that Baron would be a great potential to get a team fight to win this game, and I don't see a way where they would lose a team fight if all their members are grouped.
yeah. Aside from some catastrophic failure,
The ultimate
I,
coming down, Doki gonna fall, and it looks like OG gonna flash over the wall to get away from that. And Nivea ultimate as well. Jinatan gonna land the stun on the Feather and Furs there. Shield coming out from Corrido. And maybe it looks like rawr is giving away the game at this moment. They're just handing over picks left and right.
okay, dash in.
Oh, Rukaisho in a bit of danger, does dash out. Huge ultimate landing from the Orianna. Corrido may have saved this game here. Amumu gonna come down as well. Shauna gonna flash out. Gintonic survives, so TP coming in from the Darius. I think they gotta run now, but it looks like they can't escape. Two members going down for the side of Furtastic Blizzard here. OG trying to get a pick to save this game. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Bossman gonna pick up 2 kills with the Inferno Trigger, but gives over another kill to Corrido here. No minions for this turret here, so Angelic Poro has to peel off of it at the moment, but I don't foresee a way for Corrido to save this inhib here. 3 members in, they're taking it down. Turret goes down, inhibitor coming up next. 4 seconds on Peacemaker, 8 on Feathers. Oh, looks like they're going to peel off this inhib as well. Honestly, though, not necessary to win the game. I think they could win the game without getting this inhib, and that's the objective right there. Baron, they're going to clear out the jungle, clear out the wards. Looks like they may be getting a position to get this Baron.
Yeah, death timer is just a little bit too low here for rawr to really pick up the inhib. That's 22 minutes. They are just gonna turn on the Baron though, even though the entirety of the enemy team is backed up. Yes, they don't have all their ultimates, but magic resist debuff when you're against an Orianna Mumu combo can be a hell of a drug. Let's see how it shakes
Kaisho
out
still
here.
farming on the bot side. I don't think they are completely aware, or they're just going to go for the steal.
Jet lag.
All right, we have Doki engaging here, burning the Cataclysm on 2 members. Peacemaker in the thick of it. However, the Cosmic Radiance gonna stall enough. They pick up 2 kills, and we also have Jin and Tonic here trying to do his best. Oh, absolutely murders the 3-man there. Orianna wasn't there to deal any damage, and honestly, I think that was almost a bit of a troll coming up on the side of rawr here. But they turn it around with the great stun from Jin and Tonic. Damage goes down. Rukaisho going to be in a bit of a 2v1, 1v1 here. Bossman, can he survive? Nope, gets the Q and the auto crit to finish off the kill. And it looks like Corrido, again, has to be the person to defend this base here. I think Corrido's going to have a tough time. Has to be Tarek here to also stall. OG coming back as well. And this is a member advantage for the side of Furtastic Blizzard at this moment. rawr backing off here. Looks like they're going to be trying to chase down Bossman. They have the Orianna speed boost, and they ultimately call it off as the Dragon's up. This would be Soul, Delphino. The Soul is coming up right now. This is probably going to be the fight that decides the game. How do you think Furtastic Blizzard should approach this last dragon here? Do they just give it up, give the soul, no hope, no chance?
The way they approached this dragon started like 15 minutes ago. Like, oh, yeah.
Burrito getting caught out by the Shona, gonna land tons of CC.
Yeah.
Orianna gonna throw down the ultimate. He's gonna keep it up so Burrito can't get out of this situation. And with the wall, we have Bossman going in. OG still in the midst of the fight. Bossman gonna go ahead, take down the Tarek, following up onto the OG Mumu there. And it's looking like this might be the final push of the game. 34 to 14.
25 seconds.
Massive gold lead. It's just for
We got
Kaisho, who's low, so he has to back off so they can get the turret right now. Feathers and Fur on the top side, but I doubt he can tank up all these members here. They're going to go for this last Hail Mary fight. Nope, they're peeling away. Bossman going to throw to peel off. Kaisho does get killed by the turret, though, but the Nexus is exposed, and Jugpar going for the kill, and Feathers and Fur wants that higher score. Dinatonic eventually gets it there. Looks like they're going to go for this last fight, but the Nexus might fall too early. And that is rawr taking the game 2-0 here, commanding leads in both games. And it's going to be looking like rawr is solidifying themselves as a top place team here.
They are 4-1 for a reason here. Okay, 5-1 now,
Oh, yeah,
Crimzs.
now it's 5-1. You are correct. It's 5-1 now here.
And
And I mean, honestly, though, I think that Furtastic Blizzard did do better in this game. Do you have that same opinion?
they did better at the start. They had their first gold lead of the series, and then they didn't. And then
It
they were,
was very quick.
yeah. This game was quicker than the last one. Kind of goes to show just how fast it snowballed out of control once rawr was able to get the snowball on their side of the field here, Crimzs. And rawr is going to be sitting very comfortably at that 5-1 here, just aiming for a potential top dog playoff spot
Yeah.
here. They keep this momentum going.
Maybe someone can do the math, but are they pretty much a shoe-in for playoffs at this point, math-wise? But do you think they're going to make it regardlessly?
If
I
they
should
keep
probably
up
say
this level of
irregardlessly to
play
be correct.
with the fact that they're already 5-1, I believe they should. I'd have to double check the league information document to see. I believe it's the top four teams of each of the two groups do go on, so they should be
Hmm.
more or less locked off. But I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure some admin in chat is gonna drop the rules right now, or in a few seconds from now to do stream
Hmm.
delay. Still, though, I mean, hey, keep up this momentum. You should be guaranteed that playoff spot if you are rawr, and they must be sitting very comfortably on their laurels here, Crimzs.
Yeah, I think that they're in a pretty nice spot. I don't think we can say the same for Fantastic Blizzard at the moment, though. So, what are some things that you like to see them shape up just based off those last two games?
Um, there is a lot that needs to be worked on. They showed some glimmers of hope, but once they kind of started getting run over, they kind of went with the kitchen sink technique from when you're behind, which definitely works a lot of the times and is better than doing nothing, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and we kind of saw that in this game here. I'd have to do a full VOD review. Still, there is hope here for Furtastic Blizzard, Crimzs. They're
Hmm.
just have to play a little bit perfectly here from
A
here on.
little bit perfectly. So, that's a pretty high bar to meet there, Go Farino.
It is a meetable bar at least.
Yeah, I think that part of their mistakes here, and I wish we could see a gold graph over time, but I think that we won't be able to show it, but I think we can see that what they probably want to aim to do, especially in these few games, is avoid those early game skirmishes a little more. As I think in both games, it does play better into rawr's comp, and especially into this one, as we can see here, right? So if you have the Samira, if you have the Leona, that's more early game skirmish focus, wouldn't you agree? So maybe you think they should play a little safer, or maybe the plays just didn't work their way. Do you agree with the plays, or should they try to play safer?
Uh, that's something they'll just have to talk on because they know how their team works better than I do. That being said, though, we are going to have to call it a day here on the broadcast. Thank you all for coming out and watching week 6 here of the pre-made Rampage, and we will be back next week. We should have a stream on tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
Oh,
believe
wait,
that
no,
is
no, no,
correct.
no. Oh yeah, today's Saturday. Yeah, for some reason I
Yep,
thought today's
that is
Sunday.
correct.
But we will have a stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST for everybody here to catch. So don't forget to view that. And big thanks to my co-caster Crimzs, and big thanks to our
Mhm.
streamer Brian for coming on out tonight. And of course, big thanks to our viewers here, Crimzs, and I guess maybe Brian, if you want to unmute yourself from the Eternal Production mute room. Any last words you want to say? Any shout outs you want to say before we call tonight?
I don't think I'm going to shout at anyone, but I'm just gonna say I really enjoyed these casts. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed listening. And I might pass it over to Brian here, but I think he's gonna prefer to stay on the quiet side as production do. Just gonna shout him out though. Appreciate Brian. Thank you for streaming this game for us. I always appreciate a good production backside to these games. And with that, I think we're gonna close it there. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate these streams and hope you guys catch the game tomorrow. And I believe that was at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Is
Yeah.
that is correct? And that's gonna be an interesting cast as well. So, Sun Praising and Zane BD, I trust you guys are going to do well in that next game. Good.